Yeah, yeah, and it just that Justin Jefferson did what he could. He did what he could do. They tried to get him the ball. He wasn't as efficient. I mean, we can't have a one man show.
Hmm.
That ain't gonna never work. Can't have a one man show. They couldn't run the ball efficiently, and obviously the offense sputtered. I could see the frustration on Justin Jefferson's face, but I think he'll be fine next year. Maybe West is
Ah,
going to
oh, now
Minnesota.
you like that, huh?
Yeah, listen, I like it, but again, I prefer the Steelers for him just based on history and what they've been able to do when it comes to playoffs and Super Bowl wins. But other than that, in Minnesota, I think they're gonna be fine as long as they make sure they take care of the quarterback position because right now they don't
They
have an
don't,
answer at the
and
helm.
it's a rarity that you can have your starting quarterback go down, and then the backup comes in and he
Mhm.
plays really well for an extended period of time.
Right.
Cincinnati has to feel very good with the showing, even though they lost
Mm,
today. But I think Jake Browning has acquitted himself very well. He's showing that I'm able to stick around. I can make plays given an opportunity.
mhm,
And he picked up some plays with his legs because the thing is Joe is
mhm.
pretty athletic also. So I'm not going to say Joe
Yeah.
wouldn't have or couldn't have picked up those plays because Joe is more athletic than you think. But you see today,
Right.
Jake Browning didn't have a problem tucking the ball. I think he got like 3 first down on 5 scrambles. But at the end, his
Hmm.
offensive line just couldn't hold up, and they sacked him like 5 of the last 6 possessions, a drop back pass attempt. So,
Yeah.
Green Bay keep their playoffs hopes alive, 33-10 over the Minnesota Vikings.
Mhm.
Let's I'm gonna get to the David Tepper incident, but let's go to the Ravens because I think over
Yeah.
the last couple of
Whoa.
weeks they've been the most impressive, and I don't think if you look at the stretch that they've had, even when San Francisco beat
Right.
the brakes off the Cowboys, they went to the Eagles and beat the brakes off
Mhm.
them. They went to Jacksonville and
Right.
they beat some teams. But if you look at what the Ravens
Hmm.
have done, they did a demolition job. Hold on, let me find this game up here. Right there. I feel like the Minority Report. When you drop, this is the second best team now. Remember now, they went on the road last week and beat the number one team
Hmm.
by 14. This is
Team.
the second best team in
Yeah.
the AFC, and they dropped 50.
Right. Offensively.
They're the second
Offensively.
best team in the AFC. You said
Right.
Miami Dolphins were the second best team in the AFC. That's what you've been telling me for the last 6 weeks.
Offensively.
So
Offensively.
so
Yes.
so so where did they rank as a team in the AFC before you saw Baltimore do what they did today? Where would you rank Miami? Because that's not what you've been saying. Go ahead.
Oh, I remember what I've been ranking the Miami Dolphins extremely high because of Tua, Tyreek, and what they've been able to do offensively. The defense is okay. It's okay. It's not the type of defense like Baltimore has, where there's no weak link
Right.
anywhere,
Well, who
whether it's
haven't?
the
Well, who haven't
interior,
a
whether it's
complete
the
team? There's only.
secondary.
I mean, you have to look at San Francisco to say they're as complete from top to
Yeah,
bottom as the
yeah,
Baltimore Ravens.
yeah.
But
Top to
when you
bottom,
look at
yeah, yeah. And you saw what the
yeah,
Ravens
that's what
did
I'm
to them,
saying.
huh?
But we had
Yeah.
Miami in
Okay.
everybody's power ranking polls. The Miami Dolphins were the third
Mhm.
best team, or no worse than fourth of all the teams ranked.
Fourth,
Now,
right, right,
if you in the
right.
AFC, they were second best, and they just got
Hmm.
56 hung on them. And
Yeah,
and
man.
and and,
Hey,
and so you look at Baltimore, you look at what they did to Detroit, you look at what they did to Seattle,
hmm,
you look at what they did to San
right.
Francisco, you look at what they did to Miami.
Hmm.
This is a team that you don't want to fool with because they can run it. You look at what they
Yeah.
had: Gus Edwards, 16 rushes, 66 yards; Hill, 3 rushes, 45 yards; Lamar Jackson, 6 for 35.
Mhm.
Melvin Gordon even got into the action. He only had 10 yards, had longer 7, but he
Yeah.
got a touchdown. Lamar
Hmm.
Jackson, 15 of 21, 321, 5 touchdowns, a perfect Q back.
I'm working on this case about missing scientists. I've seen that before. This place, it takes us one by one.
How can you trust the reviews you're reading? Introducing FakeSpot by Mozilla. Whether on your phone or computer, FakeSpot analyzes product reviews and sellers as you shop on Amazon, Best Buy, eBay, and other big online shopping sites. By sorting out the good from the bad, FakeSpot saves you time and money while protecting you from e-commerce fraud. Get FakeSpot by Mozilla as a free add-on for Firefox or your favorite browser and shop knowing you're in safe hands.
they did to the 49ers. Many believe that was the best team in football, and they beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Now we come, and everybody had started to feel good about the Dolphins because they had just beat the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And, bro, you got 56 dropped on you?
Yeah. And listen, it's different. It's different. I don't know how to explain it. It's something about the Ravens. Obviously, defense, that AFC North, they play a different kind of football. They play a different kind of football defensively. I'm gonna just start there. They play a different kind of football defensively. Then on the flip side of things, the supporting cast that Lamar Jackson has now, the year that he won the MVP in 2019, it's that much better. Where he didn't, the onus in having to have success offensively it isn't all on his shoulders. Bateman coming through, Zay Flowers going crazy, Odell making clutch catches, doing what we're used to seeing him do, and the running game is efficient as well. So it's like there's a balance of everything, and then Lamar, he's dropping back the pass and only running when he has to because everything else around him is efficient and working really well. And then the defense is playing phenomenal football.
Man, Ocho, you look at what they did, give Todd Monken a lot of credit. The way he's come in, he's put Lamar in a system where Lamar feels very, very comfortable. We know Lamar has legs. We know the Ravens can run the football. But now it's a lot of five-man out. It's not dependent on the tight end. Even though, and I think some of the best thing, and you hate to see Mark Andrews go out, but it forced Lamar to focus a little bit more on his receivers. Now he still has Likely that can go make plays for him. That one-hand catch on fourth down that ended up being a touchdown because it was a tremendous catch and run by him. But now they have receivers. You look at Zay Flowers, 3 catches, 106 yards, 75 yards. Just
crazy.
I love what Todd Monken did. They got the running back matched up on the linebacker. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Somebody having kid problems. But the Ravens, man, they look good. The Ravens, ladies and gentlemen, the Ravens have won 6 straight games since week 11. Since a week 11 home loss to the Cleveland Browns. And when you look at what they've done, they beat the number 1 team in the NFC, the number 1 team. I mean, what the Ravens are doing, there's a difference between beating teams and beating teams up. Hey, baby, why you crying? What daddy do?
Say hi.
How you still up this time of night?
Okay, go. Go play with Sissy.
And Ocho, I was telling the our listeners in the chat. I said there's a difference between beating teams and then beating teams up.
Right.
They're beating teams up.
Right.
They're physically, and that's the one thing about the Ravens. If you beat the Ravens, you got to out physical them. And they ain't cute.
Yeah,
they ain't gonna do all that razzle dazzle. They ain't got a whole bunch of trick plays. They line up and they punch you in the mouth, and then you better punch them back.
Right in the mouth. And you know what the funny thing about it is, the AFC North has always been like that. It's always been like that. I always call it a 2 chin strap game. Anytime we had to play a division opponent, we had to play the Steelers, you had to play the Browns, or you had to play the Ravens. You got to bring your hard hat. You got to bring your hard hat, because all that playing pretty and hitting people and getting up and tapping them on the shoulder, good, ain't none of that. I mean, it's personal for some reason. It's personal every time you play them boys, and it showed today. It's a very physical game.
The game. You know when the game flipped, when the Dolphins had to settle for that field goal, Tyreek had a touchdown and he bobbled it in the sun.
Yeah. Right. And listen, the game started off good though. Huh? I thought it was going to be a scoring fest back to back. And I tweeted it out. I said, you know what, the Dolphins scored. I said, you know what, the Ravens will go back and answer. The Ravens are going to go down and answer, because it always happens like that when the game starts out, until the defenses settle in. And then from that point on, it becomes the chess match between the coordinators. I'm going to put my pieces in a better position to beat your pieces, and you go from there. Then after Tyreek bobbled that ball and they had to get a field goal, man, it was a runaway train from that point on.
Turning the ball over. You know, Ocho, you know, you and I, we kept those receipts, right? You know, we keep receipts. Yeah. Everybody keeping receipts. You don't ever say he had a good game. I keep receipts. I keep receipts. Okay.
Right.
Baltimore say we kept receipts too.
These two, right. And you know what? On two of those interceptions, I don't know why, but every time the Dolphins line up in that tight split with the receiver on the outside edge of the numbers on both sides, it's the same bang 8 every time. The bang 8 like you used to run. Yes, baby. Okay. I got you. Yeah, every time, and both times they ran the bang 8 from the tight split. It was an interception.
Because all they're gonna do is they're gonna fake it and they're gonna try to hit. They're gonna try to hit. And Roquan made a great play on the ball.
And Roquan, he followed the eyes the first time, and the second time it was another pick. And even if he did complete it, it was gonna be an interception because the DB was right there on it. He ran the route for the receiver.
And they were bothering Tua because Tua was high. He almost got Tyreek hurt on that sideline throw. He overthrew him, and Tyreek tried to make a play on the ball. So he was really high today. People are bringing up Lamar's stat. Lamar Jackson is tied for 10th in passing touchdowns, 24. He's ranked 13th in passing yards, 3,678. Only two quarterbacks have ever won the MVP while finishing outside of the top 5 in both categories. Steve McNair did in 2003 and Bart Starr in 1966. But I think because the Ravens have been so good and Lamar Jackson has been he's not going to have 40 touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to throw for 45.
The offense isn't even built like that anyway.
What he's done, because when you go back and look at the Lions are going to the playoffs. They're the third seed in the NFC. He took them apart. It looks like Seattle has a chance to make the playoffs. He took them apart. The 49ers are the number 1 seed. He took them apart. Miami have an opportunity to win the division and be the number 2 seed in the AFC. He took them apart. So when you look at his body of work and the teams that he did a number on, I don't know who else you can give the MVP to.
You have to give it to him because obviously we were talking Purdy. We were screaming Purdy. We were screaming Purdy. We were screaming Purdy. Then we were screaming Dak. I thought the 49ers looked like a team that wasn't going to lose. I almost had them locked to go to Vegas and win in Lombardi based on the way they were playing offensively and the way they were playing defensively. I'm like, ain't no way in hell anybody going to beat them. Then I think about the Ravens coming to town. Oh my goodness. It's almost as if they don't even belong on the field with them boys. That's what it looked like. They dominated on both sides of the ball. All 3 phases of the game. They dominated offense, they dominated special teams, and they dominated on defense. Then they come back again and do the same thing today to the Dolphins.
See, the Dolphins got questions, Ocho, because you remember early in the season, they went on the road to Buffalo, and Buffalo dropped a 50 bomb on them. After they had just dropped 70 on the Broncos. And I was like, Now, it kind of eased people's mind a little bit because they beat the Cowboys because that was at home, and that's the only team that they've beaten with a winning record. But now you have to have even more questions than answers because they went on the road and they didn't look like they belong in the same book. They don't even belong on the same shelf as the Ravens. The Ravens took them apart. Outside of the first quarter, the game was never close. I don't think it was